Welcome to Jack Attack's Metal Review, and in this episode I'll be checking out the almighty Black Sabbath and their album Dehumanizer, featuring the pint-sized Dragon Slayer himself, Ronnie James Dio at the mic. Dehumanizer? Black Sabbath? Yeah, you've got the right band, my friends. I'm going to tell you why this album is an undiscovered gem and a killer metal album coming straight at you. Dehumanizer was released in late June of 1992 and would go all the way to number 44 on the Billboard Top 200 charts. And it turned out to be Sabbath's biggest success in a decade. And that's odd because the lineup on Dehumanizer with Dio, Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Vinny was the same lineup on Mob Rules. Dio was touring for Lock Up the Wolves in Minnesota, and Geezer Butler came up on bass and did some old Sab cuts. Talk turned into rumor, rumor turned into the truth, and bam. The Mob Rules lineup is reformed for the Dehumanizer album, and in the studio they go in late 91. Alright nerds, check this out. Put this puzzle together. I already did for you, but I'll tell you how it goes. Cover of the album was done by an artist named Will Reese. Last name Reese, if you know the movie Terminator, you know who I'm talking about. The album cover looks like some T-800s. The album features a song called Time Machine, which was featured in the movie Wayne's World, and in the movie Wayne's World, during a certain part where they're spoofing Terminator, the song is played.
I'll be back.
Terminator, T-800s on the cover, artist Will Reese, done. Well, let's kick off this record, shall we? Here is Computer God. You can definitely hear the newfound power in artists when they reunite. It's great, and it really kicks off with this track that's about the emergence of technology in everyday life, of how we are ruled by machines. You can just hear the maturity in this band after 10 years gone. From Mob Rules to here, the band has matured so much. I mean, this is some of the heaviest, darkest music under the Black Sabbath moniker. And this album's only begun to heat up with a speedy little shredder called TV Crimes, a song about religious corruption and the all-American too good to be true dream.
Yes, officers, there's something wrong?
Have you seen this boy?
And there it is, Time Machine appearing in the hit motion picture Wayne's World. And this isn't the first time a Black Sabbath Dio-fronted song has appeared in the soundtrack. Also, the movie Heavy Metal, the animated movie, had Mob Rules in that. This is my favorite part of the track, Sins of the Father. It's got everything. The song from the beginning to this point here, which is one of my favorite parts in the whole record, is this awesome transition. Tony Iommi really riffing some huge, colossal riffs right here. Killer track. And that brings us to my favorite track on the record, I. Is it just me, or does anybody else feel that Tony Iommi's riffery with Dio is just sometimes a little bit smarter than with the stuff with Ozzy. I mean, I know it's a different era of metal, and I know they've matured a little bit, but I always find that the music that Tony and Geezer wrote with Dio is just so much more intelligent than the stuff with Ozzy. And that's really the bottom line of why I like the Dio Sab stuff better. Not better, but I like it for a different reason than the Ozzy Sab stuff. It's a little bit more intelligent. It's got a better IQ, I think. You gotta love that lead. Tony Iommi using the wah pedal and a lot of chorus effect on that solo. You know, Tony, granted he's not the flashiest or the best technical lead player there is, but that style that he has is just unprecedented. It's a lot like Angus Young of AC/DC. I mean, he's not the flashiest guy out there, but he's got his style, and style goes so much further than technical ability. And that brings us to the last track of the record, Buried Alive. I mean, check this out. Listen to this riff. I mean, these guys, you know, are like 45 years old and they're doing this right here. I mean, have you heard the new Heaven and Hell record? I mean, Dio's nearing 70 years old and they're still carrying the heavy metal flag. Dio is just so crafty with how to write a good melody and how to write a good chorus. I mean, sure, his lyrical content, I think, gets a little repetitive, but the guy knows how to construct a song. He's very, very smart. You just can't get over that Tony Iommi tone. I mean, you just know it's tone. I mean, it's great. You know, to round out this record, it's a fantastic closer to the album, Buried Alive. I mean, I know I skipped over a couple songs, but I really want to keep this short and cohesive and really to the point. So, I mean, check this album out. It's really good. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people ditch it off. But fortunately for you, the buyer out there, you can probably pick this up for cheap at some used CD shop. The tour for this album didn't go exactly as planned, because at the end of the tour, Dio quit Black Sabbath, and rightfully so. I side with his decision, because Ozzy Osbourne was doing a tour called No More Tours for the album No More Tears. And he asked Black Sabbath to come open for him, his former band, with Dio fronting it now, to come open for Ozzy. Dio open for Ozzy? I know they don't see eye to eye figuratively and metaphorically, but I side with Dio hands down, and here's why. Dio is a much better musician than Ozzy. He's a much better lyric writer. He's a better everything. He doesn't read off a fucking teleprompter. I've seen Ozzy live a couple times. I've met Dio. I've seen Dio. I've seen Heaven and Hell. Dio's I'm speechless of the difference. How could anybody side with Ozzy over Dio? Ozzy, yeah, I understand his shtick. I know what he's about. But I mean, Dio, you gotta look deeper into Dio. Beyond the rainbows, dragons, crystal balls, and wizards, the guy's got some cool stuff. And here is how I rate Dehumanizer. Here's the bells. This album gets an 8. I wanted it to get more, but it's truly an 8. I have to give it an 8. Because it's a little bloated in spots. You know, they kind of beat a dead horse in some of the points of the songs. There's great structures throughout, but I think a song, in my eyes, a good song will leave you wanting more. A good song will end, and what you want to do is just, you know, pick up that needle and start at the beginning of that song groove again. You know, that to me is a really good song that leaves you wanting more, not going, yeah, I got it, I get it, you know. I want a little bit of mystery, I want a little bit, I can't get enough of that song. With that being said, I've got a listener request review coming in the next review. So send me your emails, let me know what you want to have reviewed, and I'll do it. I am glad to do it. More coming straight at you.